people use artificial sweeteners to lose weight.
But new research shows there may be an opposite effect. A team of researchers in Canada looked through dozens of studies on sweeteners, including aspartame and stevia. They compiled all this data, and they found an increased risk for obesity, diabetes, and high blood pressure associated with people who are eating or drinking foods with artificial sweeteners. I think a lot of people, when you're trying to lose weight, you switch from fully caloric food to something with nothing, and you feel like, hey, this is pretty good, right?
Well, I think, too, a lot of people, they look at things like, oh, non-fat, or maybe get something that's a little bit fattier, and you think maybe that's better, but that's not necessarily the case. And I think that when people are trying to cut something out of their diet, they think this could be a good thing, but really your body still has to break down those things, whether it's artificial particles or it is fatty foods. And the way the body does that can maybe have long-term effects on your overall health.
This has got to be so frustrating if you're trying to lose weight and you're doing what you think is the right thing. But I also think this goes back to a big push that we've seen recently to more natural foods. Like if you can't pronounce it, you probably shouldn't be eating it. So your body knows what to do with like fresh fruit and produce, not necessarily with those chemicals like you were saying.
I just wonder a little bit. I mean, if you think about the kind of people who are inclined to be eating sugar substitutes, they are people who are probably already inclined to be obese or have high blood pressure or whatever. So the fact that people who are having food with artificial sweeteners doesn't necessarily mean that it's causing the increased high blood pressure risk or obesity risk or whatever.
It's more the bargaining with yourself, like, okay, if I don't have this full Coke, I just have the Diet Coke, I can have a piece of cake later.
But then you wonder what's going through someone's head if they are drinking, let's say, 5 Diet Cokes instead of 5 regular Cokes, and if they think that that's good, because despite that, I'm thinking 5 glasses of water is probably better than 5 Diet Cokes.
Well, of course, but you want to believe the marketing when it says healthy on there, and that's what our fitness expert talks about all the time, is that you can't believe what it's marketed as.
I mean, the reality is 0 calories in Diet Coke is better than 160 calories in Coke. Like, it just is. Like, people tend to make diets so complicated with all this stuff, but it's pretty much calories in, calories out. This other stuff does have an impact. But the question is, like, what's happening with these artificial sweeteners? Does it give you permission to eat other stuff? Does it make you crave sweet foods because you're eating more sweetness even though you shouldn't?
And they're also saying
I mean?
it could change the gut bacteria in your stomach.
But they haven't been able to nail this down. So in the meantime, it's like artificial sweeteners are the worst. It's like, no,
but we
all have to be responsible for like the whole gamut of what we eat.